Tell me a little about yourself.
My name is Basma Ali. I'm 26 years old. I graduated in 2021 with a very good GPA from the Faculty of Women, Ain Shams University, majoring in educational technology. After graduation, I hit the ground running by joining the public service program, where I took on both data entry and front desk responsibilities. Later, I decided to branch out into online marketing and even created AI-based content on YouTube, which helped me build strong digital skills. I consider myself a fast learner who can adapt quickly to new challenges, and I'm eager to bring value through my communication skills and problem-solving mindset in a customer service role.
What are your strengths?
I'm highly organized and disciplined, and I can perform well under pressure while dealing with multiple tasks efficiently. I'm tech-savvy, quick to pick up new software, and always willing to go the extra mile to achieve excellent results.
What are your weaknesses?
One of my weaknesses is that I tend to be a perfectionist, which sometimes leads me to spend too much time on details. However, I've been working on finding the right balance between quality and efficiency so I can meet deadlines without compromising results. I'm also learning not to overthink situations, which allows me to stay focused and productive.
What are your short-term goals?
In the short term, my goal is to gain hands-on experience in customer service and to work on sharpening my communication skills so I can become more confident and efficient as a call center agent. I also aim to get my foot in the door in a professional environment, which will allow me to build a strong foundation for my career growth. What are your long-term goals? In the long term, I see myself moving up the career ladder and taking on more responsibility within the company. My goal is to develop leadership skills and eventually step into a supervisory or managerial role. I also want to build long-term professional relationships and continue to add value to the organization as I grow.
What do you want to be doing 5 years from now?
In 5 years, I see myself leading a team, mentoring new employees, and actively contributing to improving customer satisfaction and company processes. I also hope to take the lead on important projects and continue to grow within the company.
If you could change one thing about your personality, what would it be?
If I could change one thing about my personality, I would like to be less of a perfectionist, since I sometimes spend too much time on small details. I'm currently working on prioritizing tasks more effectively and becoming more efficient. I'm also learning to go with the flow so I can remain flexible and calm under pressure.
What does success mean to you?
To me, success means not only achieving my goals, but also continuously improving myself and making a positive impact through my work and the people I serve. I believe true success is about seizing opportunities to grow professionally while staying committed to adding value and making a difference.
What does failure mean to you?
Failure is a chance to learn and grow. I believe mistakes teach valuable lessons and help us perform better in the future. I also try to turn setbacks into opportunities whenever possible.
Are you an organized person?
Yes, I would describe myself as a very organized person. I rely on schedules and to-do lists to prioritize my tasks and make sure nothing falls through the cracks. I manage my work efficiently, always aim to meet deadlines, and try to stay on top of my responsibilities every day. At the same time, I stay flexible so I can quickly adjust if unexpected tasks come up. I believe being organized helps me work smarter and deliver consistent results.
In what ways are you organized and disorganized?
I'm organized when I plan my tasks in advance, use to-do lists, and set reminders to stay focused. These tools help me manage my time effectively and avoid missing deadlines. However, I can be a little disorganized if tasks suddenly pile up. In those situations, I quickly adjust by prioritizing what's most important and making sure I get back on track. I also try to keep my cool and stay productive even when things get a bit chaotic.
Do you manage your time well?
Yes, I manage my time well by setting clear priorities and breaking larger tasks into smaller, manageable steps. I always try to stick to deadlines and avoid procrastination. I also make sure not to bite off more than I can chew so I can deliver quality work consistently.
How do you handle change?
I handle change by staying flexible and open-minded. I try to adapt quickly and learn new ways to improve my work. I believe in going with the flow when things shift unexpectedly.
How do you make important decisions?
I make important decisions by gathering all necessary information, weighing the pros and cons, and thinking about the long-term impact before taking action. I try not to jump to conclusions without careful thought.
Do you work well under pressure?
Yes, I work well under pressure. I stay calm, focus on the task, and organize my time efficiently to meet deadlines. I've learned to keep my cool, even in stressful situations.
Are you better at anticipating or reacting to problems?
I'm better at anticipating problems. I try to foresee potential issues and take preventative measures, but I can also react calmly and effectively if unexpected problems arise. I always try to think ahead to avoid surprises.
Are you a risk taker or do you like to stay away from risks?
I usually prefer to stay away from unnecessary risks. I like to assess the situation carefully and make informed decisions, but I'm open to calculated risks if they lead to growth. I try not to bite off more than I can chew.
Why should I hire you?
You should hire me because I bring strong organizational and communication skills, and I perform well under pressure. I'm highly motivated to deliver excellent customer service, and I'm also tech-savvy and quick to adapt to new processes. Moreover, I always go the extra mile to ensure client satisfaction and add value to the team.
Tell me about a time you made a mistake.
Once, I entered incorrect data during my work in the social affairs unit. I noticed the mistake immediately, corrected it, and put a double-check system in place to prevent similar errors. I learned that everyone makes mistakes, and it's important to handle them calmly.
Tell me about a time you made a good decision.
During my work in the food supply office, I suggested organizing the files digitally instead of paper-based, which saved a lot of time and reduced errors. The decision improved efficiency significantly and paid off in the long run.
Tell me about a time you made a poor decision.
During university, I once mismanaged my time for a group project and didn't plan tasks properly. I realized the most important parts were at risk, so I focused on completing them first and delegated other minor parts to my teammates. The project was finished successfully.
Tell me about a time you fired someone.
I haven't had the chance to fire anyone. However, during group projects at university, I sometimes had to step in when a team member couldn't meet deadlines. I helped redistribute tasks fairly so the project could stay on track.
Tell me about a time you hired someone.
I haven't formally hired anyone yet, but in university, I helped organize a training session where I guided fellow students on Microsoft Word skills, which required selecting participants and assigning tasks.
Tell me about a time you failed to complete an assignment on time.
During university, I couldn't finish a project or presentation completely on time. I focused on writing the most important parts, reviewed sections that needed attention, and left non-essential parts out. The project was completed successfully. Tell me about a time you found a solution to save the company money. While working on a university project, I suggested using free online tools instead of paid software. This reduced costs for our team and allowed us to complete the project efficiently.
Tell me about a time you aimed too high.
In a university project, I set very ambitious goals for our presentation. I couldn't achieve everything, but I learned to set realistic objectives and plan better.
Tell me about a time you aimed too low.
Once, I underestimated my abilities in a group project and didn't aim high enough. After completing it successfully, I realized I can handle more challenging work.
Tell me about a time you made a great sale.
I haven't done direct sales, but during my online work and university projects, I convinced some teammates and peers to adopt my suggested solutions, which had a positive impact.
Tell me about a time you went over budget.
During a university project, I underestimated the required resources and slightly went over the planned budget. I discussed it with my team and found ways to cut costs in future tasks.
What extracurricular activities were you involved in?
During university, I trained some fellow students on Microsoft Word skills. This helped me develop my teaching and communication skills while helping others improve their computer abilities.
What do you do in your free time?
In my free time, I like improving my English through reading and watching videos, learning new computer skills, and sometimes working on my YouTube channel content.
Tell me about a time you had a conflict with a coworker.
I haven't had serious workplace conflicts, but in university projects, I sometimes disagreed with teammates about ideas. I listened carefully, explained my point of view, and we reached a compromise.
Tell me about a time you worked under pressure.
During my service year, I had to enter a large number of records in a short time. I stayed focused, organized my tasks, and finished before the deadline.
What is your greatest strength?
My greatest strength is being organized and detail-oriented. I always plan ahead and make sure my work is accurate.
What is your biggest weakness?
Sometimes I spend too much time making my work perfect, but I'm learning to balance quality and deadlines.
Tell me about a time you helped a teammate.
In university, one of my teammates didn't know how to format a document in Word. I took the time to teach her, and she managed to complete her part successfully.
Describe a situation where you solved a problem creatively.
During my service year, the printer stopped working before we had to submit documents. I quickly converted the files to digital format and sent them by email instead.
Why do you want this job?
I want this job because it matches my skills in communication, data entry, and problem solving. I'm also eager to work in a professional environment and grow my career.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself as an experienced team leader in a customer service department, contributing to the company's success and developing my leadership skills.
Why should we hire you?
You should hire me because I'm hardworking, quick to learn, and adaptable. My background in customer service, data entry, and teamwork makes me a strong fit for this role.
How do you handle criticism? I handle criticism by listening carefully, asking questions if I need clarification, and using the feedback to improve my work. Describe a situation where you had to learn something quickly. In my service year, I had to learn a new data entry system in just 2 days. I stayed focused, practiced a lot, and managed to work independently by the 3rd day. How do you prioritize your tasks? I start by listing all tasks, then I focus on urgent and important ones first. I also break big tasks into smaller steps to stay on track. Tell me about a time you worked with a difficult customer. While helping people in the social affairs office, I met a customer who was upset about a delay. I stayed calm, listened to their concerns, and explained the process clearly, which made them calmer. How do you stay motivated at work? I stay motivated by setting small goals, celebrating achievements, and reminding myself of the bigger purpose of my work. How do you deal with repetitive tasks?
I deal with repetitive tasks by staying organized, keeping a good pace, and sometimes listening to music to stay focused.
Tell me about a time you missed a deadline.
In university, my group project was delayed because we had too much content. I suggested focusing on the main points and cutting less important parts, and we managed to submit it on time.
Do you prefer working alone or in a team?
I enjoy both, but I prefer working in a team because it allows sharing ideas and supporting each other. However, I can also work independently when needed.
How do you handle stress?
I handle stress by staying organized, taking short breaks to clear my mind, and focusing on one task at a time.
What makes a good customer service representative?
A good customer service representative listens actively, communicates clearly, stays patient under pressure, and works to solve problems effectively.
What extracurricular activities were you involved in?
During university, I volunteered to train some students on Microsoft Word skills. It was a rewarding experience because I enjoyed passing on my knowledge and helping others improve.
Why did you choose your major?
I chose educational technology because I've always been interested in how technology can bring about positive change in education.
If you could redo college again, what would you major in?
I would still choose the same major, but I would also branch out into subjects like business and communication to broaden my skills.
What course did you like the most?
I enjoyed the instructional design course because it allowed me to come up with creative solutions for learning problems.
What course did you like the least?
I found the statistics course challenging, but I pushed through and managed to get a good grade.
How will your performance in your worst class affect your performance at work? It taught me that even if something is difficult, I can still work my way through it with effort and persistence. How would your best friend describe you? They would say I'm reliable, hardworking, and someone who always goes the extra mile to help others. How would your professor describe you? My professor would describe me as attentive, organized, and willing to take on new challenges. How would your mother describe you? She would describe me as caring, determined, and someone who never gives up easily. Why are you applying for a job that you didn't major in? My degree gave me transferable skills like communication, problem solving, and time management, which I can easily apply to this job. During college, how did you spend your summer vacations?
I usually took advantage of the summer to pick up new skills online, such as computer programs and English, and sometimes joined short training courses. It was a great way to kill two birds with one stone by learning and improving myself at the same time.
What did you learn from your internship?
I learned how to adapt to a professional environment, deal with clients politely, and complete tasks within tight deadlines. I also realized that rolling with the punches is key in a fast-paced office.
Did you do internships?
Yes, I had training experiences that helped me get a feel for real work situations and understand office procedures better.
If you could learn something such as a new skill, what would it be?
I would like to pick up advanced data analysis skills, as I believe they are very useful in almost every field now.
If you could start your career over again, what would you do differently?
I would focus on building professional networks earlier and gaining more internships during university to get my foot in the door in the industry.
During your performance reviews, what criticism do you hear the most? Sometimes I'm told that I pay too much attention to details, but I see it as a strength because it helps me get things right the first time. Tell me about your last 3 positions. First, I worked at a social affairs unit, then at a supply office, both as a data entry and customer service representative. Later, I moved on to online freelance work, like e-marketing, which gave me hands-on experience in digital tasks. Tell me about your last position. My last position was in a supply office, where I was responsible for dealing with customers, receiving documents, and entering data accurately into the system. What is your management philosophy? I believe in leading by example, clear communication, and creating a supportive environment where everyone can do their best. What was your favorite job? I enjoyed my role in the social affairs unit because it allowed me to interact with different people and help them solve their problems effectively. Tell me about the best manager you ever had. The best manager I had was supportive, gave clear instructions, and always encouraged us to think outside the box. Tell me about the worst manager you ever had. I once worked with a manager who rarely communicated and gave last-minute tasks, but it taught me how to stay calm under pressure. What were the most memorable accomplishments in your last position? I improved the accuracy of data entry and helped reduce customer waiting time by streamlining the document checking process. Why do you want to leave your current job? I'm looking for a position that offers more opportunities to grow professionally and use my communication skills fully. What do you expect from your manager? I expect clear communication, constructive feedback, and a supportive environment that helps the team perform at its best. What aspects of this job interest you the most? I like that this job involves daily interaction with customers and gives me a chance to resolve their issues effectively. How do you handle conflict? I listen to all sides, stay neutral, and try to find common ground to resolve the issue quickly. What do you like to do when you're not in the office? I enjoy reading, learning new computer skills, and sometimes creating content for my YouTube channel. What kind of salary are you looking for? I'm more focused on the role and the opportunities for growth, so I'm open to a fair and competitive offer. My expectation is around 15,000 EGP, but depending on benefits and growth opportunities, I can be flexible. Do you have any questions for us? Yes, I'd like to ask about the opportunities for growth in this position and the training programs you provide for new employees. How do you handle an angry customer? I stay calm, listen carefully to understand their concerns, apologize if needed, and proactively offer solutions to resolve the issue and prevent it from recurring. Can you describe a time you turned a complaint into a positive outcome? A customer once complained about a delay. I listened carefully, explained the steps I would take, and followed up consistently until the issue was resolved, turning the complaint into a positive outcome. How do you deal with multiple customers at the same time? I prioritize tasks, stay organized, and communicate clearly with each customer to ensure everyone is assisted efficiently. What do you do if you don't know the answer to a customer's question? If I don't know the answer to a customer's question, I politely tell them that I'll find out for them. I consult my supervisor or resources, then follow up promptly to provide the correct information. This ensures the customer feels supported and valued.
How do you stay positive during a stressful workday?
I focus on small accomplishments, take short breaks to recharge, and remind myself of the impact of my work on customers.